small items that pop up that aren't on the agenda, so just so you know, we do have one other bill.
Okay, this meeting is video and audio recorded for cable broadcast and internet posting on www.dayton-mass.gov and YouTube. Okay, we have the minutes from our previous meeting. Everyone has had a chance to look them over. Is there a motion to accept or to make changes?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have an opening on the commission, and we have interviews for position at-large member for the Dayton Conservation Commission. One of the applicants showing concern or interest in the position is Jason LaChance. Jason? Okay, does anyone have any questions for Jason? Okay, Jason, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here in town?
My name is Jason LaChance. I own a tree business here in town. I do a lot of planting, some land clearing, some of this, regrowth, grass, native shrubs,
Okay,
and I've done a lot of construction experience with land movement and understand how it
Okay.
works.
okay, and your interest in the commission is, can you give us your interest on?
Having a set of skills that the same people that are standing behind that microphone have will help the board to understand what they're trying to do as they describe it verbally and understand their needs and the board's needs. Because I've
Okay.
been on both sides and hear it. Well, I shouldn't say I've been on both sides. I've been on that side and I've only heard this side. But through learning and other things, I think I could be beneficial to the board.
Okay, thank you. You have any questions? David?
You know, talking with Jason a couple times, I feel that he will be an asset to the Conservation Committee.
Okay, William Fournette.
I've been on the commission for over 50 years. I've done a number of things that worked out pretty well for the town and myself. I enjoyed it a lot. I've got awards from different, probably every environmental group in southeastern Massachusetts in 2015. I was awarded Conservation Commissioner of the Year. Pretty proud of that. And I'm probably, without a doubt, more qualified to be sitting on that board than any member that you have now or have ever had.
Do you feel that you have done any discredit at all to the commission or to the town by any actions that you may have taken?
I couldn't understand what you said, Jim.
Do you feel as though you may have done any discredit to the commission or the town for any actions that you have taken, or do you feel that you have been above board on everything?
I've been above board on everything.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for Bill?
Come on, Jack, say something.
No questions at this time.
No, I mean, you stated your piece, Bill, you know what I mean, and you've been on the board, and you've done what had to be done.
You know, we certainly know that you have done great things with the fish ladders, with the herring run, the osprey nesting, the work on the Broad Cove getting land. We are
I
aware
didn't
of
want
all
to go
those
into all that
things.
stuff, but since you're doing it, I also was instrumental in acquiring the only piece of the Segregated River that the town owns. I had a lot of help.
If you were, could you still continue to be in some kind of beneficial capacity to the town, if not on the commission?
I always will be.
Thank you. Any, no other questions? Okay, we have two applicants. Is there a motion to accept one of these applicants for the 5th sitting member of the commission?
Mike Mullen already.
I closed it down already.
Motion to accept Jason LaChance as at-large member of the Conservation Commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jason, your name will be put into the, towards the selectmen for approval as the fifth member of the Sitting Conservation Commission.
Thank you very much.
Did he leave? Because I wanted to say thank you to him.
I'm sorry?
Did he leave? Did he walk out the door?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to him. I was gonna tell him we should have a celebration for him like we did with Charlie, I mean, you know? Why not?
I don't know where it would go. We will speak after the meeting concerning a possibility for what we did for Charlie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
It says, review, discuss, act, recommendations of position of at-large member to the Board of Selectmen. What,
That's where you make the you voted just now,
Yeah.
and now you have to make the recommendation.
okay.
So you need to send an email, correct?
Yes. And also, Mr. LaChance will need to come to the Board of Selectmen meeting Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, okay, to be sworn in,
Yep.
okay? Very good.
Welcome. Are you gonna stay for the meeting, or you heading out?
I'll say.
You should stay.
Okay, reviews for position. Reviews for position of office assistant. Review, discuss, act. Appointment of Chairman Digits as interviewing, hiring authority on behalf of the Conservation Commission. Okay,
Make a
This-
motion for the,
wait, this Monday, we have, 1 o'clock, we have interviews, an interview
An interview.
for position to become clerk for both the sewer department and the conservation. And so this here would give me approval to do the hiring for the conservation portion. Okay?
I'll be involved with the interview, but it needs to be official that we appoint
Okay.
him or someone to be there, right?
motion to appoint Chairman Digits as the interviewing, hiring authority on behalf of the Conservation Committee.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Jim, you're gonna send an email? The email will come from you
On what?
to appoint, oh, well,
I mean, to the select,
actually, Dave, you should write the email that per the vote of the Conservation Commission, Jim was appointed
Okay,
to do that, to make that decision.
okay?
consider it done.
You can also do that, we approved of Jason for the 5th member of the commission.
Email Ian and Karen, okay?
Yep.
Okay, review, discuss, act, recommendation of removal of James Souza as a member as he has missed 12-plus meetings. Okay, Jim, when he was working various shifts, he was very good on the commission. He spent a lot of time here, but since his job changed, we have not seen him. I have called, have not had replies, not many, and he's just unable to come. what we can do is try to fill in associate member positions in the future. So is there a motion, or is there any discussion on this?
Well, I've been on the Conservation Commission for 11 months.
You've not seen it?
I've never met the man.
I know.
So I wouldn't know if he was in the,
No, that's why we have to do something and open up a position on the associate member.
understand.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to remove James Souza as a member, as he has missed 12-plus meetings.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, now, I take it there's no further discussion on that then? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you will also, that's a third note to send to the selectmen. Okay.
Gotcha.
Review, discuss, act, letter to the Dayton USPO regarding certified letters. Lisa, can you,
Yes.
add-
I already did speak with them, and I told them the problem that we've received complaints that people aren't getting to sign off for the certified mail, and I explained to the postmaster that, people pay extra money for this service, and, he said he's already spoken to him once, but he'll speak to him again. Ironically, the next one I sent out had a signature on it, so we're on the right track, but I will write a letter. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so,
And that was, one of our applicants brought that to my attention as well, that, you know, a lot of times they don't require them to sign off, they just put it in the box. Oh, that's good.
okay, so we're all set with that, we don't have to, you're taking care of that.
Yeah, I'll write the letter,
Okay, thank you.
no problem.
Review, discuss, act, bills payable, Gay and Gay file invoice 7456.7 in the amount of $588.29, Strawberry Fields Appeal. Okay, do we have a motion to pay that bill?
Motion to pay the Gay and Gay file invoice 74567 in the amount of $588.29. Strawberry Fields Appeal.
Okay, any discussion on it?
I'll second it.
Okay, no discussion on it? Okay, we know what that's for. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. A second bill from Gay and Gay file invoice 74700 in the amount of $2,027.73. That is also on the Strawberry Fields Appeal. Is there a motion to pay that bill?
Motion to approve Gay and Gay file invoice 74700 in the amount of $2,027.73.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion on it?
Do we have an update of where that stands and what's going on?
Actually, in fact, I do. I spoke with Laura from Beta today. She thought I might have already known, but I didn't. So I knew we had a new DEP chief, Rita Masoon, took the place of Dan Gilmore. And I guess they're looking a little more closely at the stormwater for Strawberry Fields, and they're gonna make a decision tomorrow as to whether or not they should have approved, overridden that. But the actual hearing for the appeal is in November.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know, if it was ongoing or
Yeah.
where it was.
But we've got about 5 or 6 different items, not just the stormwater. We've got
Right.
connectability on vernal pools, we've
Right.
got drinking water problems, we've got,
But the engineers are looking at the stormwater design and what Beta has submitted and thinking that maybe Beta is right.
okay. Okay, is there, okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Let's see, no, I guess we're all set on that one. Okay, Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commission, MAC annual dues in the amount of $305. Is there a motion to pay that bill?
Motion to approve Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commission annual dues in the amount of $305.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lisa, okay, that's there, the sign, okay.
This is the next one. You can read it, it's just, didn't make it on the agenda, but it's not. According to the selectman's office, this happens sometimes, so.
Where, Lisa, what is this one here?
Marty,
Oh, it's Marty, okay, oh, all right,
the work
okay.
she's been trying to get paid.
On the, MAC dues.
Yeah.
We just fill out a form and they do the check, or I have to sign off on that, right? Okay. Review, discuss, act. It's a continued hearing from DI Trust Comprehensive Conservation Subdivision that seeks to construct 135 single-family homes with 13,137 linear feet of associated roadway off Forest Street, DEP file number 17-443. DI Trust has requested a continuance.
Point of order, we have that bill from Marty there. You have to read that one.
Okay, oh, all right, okay, that's, can we go back to that then, or,
Yep.
okay,
You
is
have
there?
to vote to take everything out of order, though.
Okay, I'll come back to that then. Here's from Nova Environmental Consultants, a bill for $924.60, and this here is, the site is on Horton Street. It's in the NRED peer review. Is there a motion to pay that bill of $924.60?
Motion to pay that bill of
$24.60.
$960.
Is there,
Second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
You can sign it anyway, Jen. And I don't think you guys all need to sign them, actually.
Okay, going back to DI Trust. DI Trust has requested a continuance to 9/21/2023 for their subdivision off of Forest Street of 13,137 linear feet. Is there a motion to accept their request?
Motion to continue to 9/21/2023, DI Trust.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, here we have another request to continue a hearing at Reed Brother Farms Limited Liability, file number 17-447. Outback Engineering has requested a continuance to 9/21.
Motion to continue to 9/21/2023, Reed Brothers Farm Limited Liability Partnership.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, next, review, discuss, continued hearing. It's an NRED application by Dean Smith of New Leaf, Dayton Energy Storage One LLC for 0 Maynard Lane. Map 1, lots 82-7 and 96. DEP file number 17-476. New Leaf has requested a continuance to 9/21.
Motion to continue to 9/21/2023, NRAD application by Dean Smith of New Leaf.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, review, discuss, act. Another request to continue or to table a hearing until 9/21 for an NRAD application by RJR Properties, 0 Old Horton Street, map 7, lot 36 and 36-1, file number 17-475. Nova Environmental submitted a scope amendment for the peer review.
Motion to continue to 9/21/2023, NRAD application by RJR Properties, 0 Old Horton Street.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Review, discuss, act, it's a continued hearing, notice of intent application by Robert J. Russell III of 0 Old Horton Street, map 7, lot 36, for construction of a single-family house with septic. A portion of the work is within the buffer zone to wetlands. File number 17481. ADE has requested a continuance to 9/21.
Motion to continue to 9/21/2023. Notice of intent application by Robert J. Russell III on 0 Old Horton Street.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lisa, I just want to ask you a question on this here. We've had one of these that has been requested to continue now for
New leaf,
6, 7, and 8 months.
which one?
Is there DI?
Oh, DI, from what I
Is there a
understand,
limit to what we can accept before
as long as they're submitting new information within 2 years.
2 years? Okay.
And
I'm getting tired of
there was an
reading that.
email today.
I'm getting tired of reading that every month.
There was an email today, so I think they've submitted revised plans for the next meeting.
Okay. Review, discuss, act. Notice of intent application by Charles Roberts, Federal National Mortgage Company, 1969 Horton Street, North Dayton. Work includes the upgrading of a failed septic system with septic tank, pump tank, retaining walls, leach field, and associated grading. A portion of the work falls within the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland and riverfront area to the Pappasquash River. The applicant also proposes to restore a portion of the riverfront area and buffer zone that was disturbed by the previous owner to its pre-existing state. File number 17-487.
Good evening.
Wow, we finally got someone up here.
Yes. After a half hour, I'm here. Darren Carroll from Foresight Engineering, here on behalf of the mortgage company that's taking care of this property for the bank. We had a land surveyor out there to do the survey because of the proximity of the house to the property line. Lisa and I met out there to go over some of the disturbance that had been done by the previous owner as he cut some trees out front and proceeded to push all the chips into the wetlands. So we had the wetlands flagged. My flagger was a little aggressive, so Lisa and I adjusted the line to the dark line that you see on the plan now, basically eliminating some groups of flags. So we have some sheds to the south of the property that are within the wetlands. We're gonna hand remove those sheds. They're basically just boxes sitting on the ground. There's one fenced, chain link fenced area. That'll restore that wetland area because there's really no ground disturbance. The main work is in the front of the property where he pushed all the chips in. So we're gonna remove the soil, about 2.5 feet of dirt in the front that he filled in. Bring it back to the natural grade of the wetland so it'll restore itself. We're gonna have that bank there. We're leaving the existing wood chip path kind of as our buffer. We'll install the new stakes as recommended for the new 25-foot no-touch from our new created wetland. And all of our setbacks are to that new creation of that wetland for the septic and everything. So I pushed everything as far as I can from everything. There's nowhere else for the septic to go.
Here's the existing house. Okay.
How many feet is the septic, the retaining wall off,
It would be 67 feet. So
off
it's
of the 25 foot no touch?
off the 25, so it would be 67 minus 20 would be 42.
Okay.
So I got it right against the driveway. So
So
it's,
you got it outside the 50, so that's.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm right to the property line, so I'm allowed to go to 10 feet to the property line. I'm at 11. I can't go any further because of the grading, because it's a raised system because of the water table, so I have to be able to grade down to that slope there. It's a pretty expensive wall we're already putting in. I don't want to put in a whole nother wall on the other side too. And it would only gain us a couple feet, so it's not a lot. And now the new system is up out of the ground, where the previous system is definitely in the water table to the rear of the property, is also pretty close to the existing well. So we're getting further from all those items. And I think the main thing is the restoration of the wetland out front.
Pappasquash is over here?
Yep, down to the west.
Downstream.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now, yeah, it actually goes through the site, right?
Yep.
In the back.
Yep.
So, my concern is that you're gonna remove a number of trees to replace the septic system, right?
Yes.
Are they mostly pine trees, are
There's like 4 pines right there that are pretty good size.
And then you don't really kill any trees in the restoration.
No, I usually just wait to see if the board recommends, so what I do is a standard planting or what we've done in the past, and then if the board would like some different trees planted on the embankment, to kind of restore that, we have no problem doing that. I can add some pine trees, some white pines, or whatever you wanna see out there.
He's got a list of shrubs, but I think we need some trees in there, so maybe
Yep.
you and I could work together on that.
That's fine.
And then the notes for the monitoring, because we don't want them doing it without, is your wetland scientist maybe available to be there for that, or?
I could probably get him to be out there, yes, I'm sure Corey is
Okay.
out there for me, yes. So we'll adjust the notes then, so we'll have some revisions to make, Lisa and I can adjust those.
Yeah.
So we'll add some trees to the planting, and then we'll add some notes to the restoration sequence, so that everyone knows that we need to have someone there to monitor this.
The conventional system, as you have, is better than the Fuji system, which is self-contained.
It's not, the Fuji still isn't quite self-contained, it's just a pre-treatment system, you still need a leach field after it.
Okay,
I would just shrink the size of the leach field, that would be the only advantage. And the Fuji's another $10,000, so it's,
okay.
a lot of towns are pushing towards them, and as an engineer, I do agree with what they do for the groundwater and the drinking water, but it's hard to convince a bank to put that money forward. If this was a friend and it was a forever house, I might try and push them towards a treatment system.
Okay,
But I know a lot of towns have regulations now that if you're within the 100-foot buffer, they can require treatment. So I know you guys, I think it's 75, and you think about it if it's within 100, but I'm
Well,
doing,
the system's not in the 200 either, so
No.
that's good.
Yeah.
For the riverfront. I like that you have the compost filters on.
Yeah.
Now, what about dewatering? Do you expect to need to dewater?
I don't think so. The soils were tight enough that if they do this at the right time of year, which would be right about now, they can drop the tanks in the ground. They're not super deep, we just have a pump because the system's elevated. So the tanks are only about 2 feet in the ground.
And the other thing we're gonna need is either a fence.
Yes, you wanted the post or,
Posts.
yeah, we can do the post. I have, we can do the 4x4 post with the signs that say 25 foot no
Yeah, we
touch.
have the placards.
Okay.
So we provide them to you for dollar fees. But yeah, we can work it out with the
Okay.
orders and a revised plan, I think, if the commission is amenable.
okay, so we're all set with you writing the order of conditions.
Yeah, it's a septic
You
replacement and
guys have any, questions? Anyone in the audience have any,
They're removing all organic anyway.
Yes.
anyone in the audience have questions?
I'd like to ask a question, just because I haven't heard, what is this Fuji system you're talking about?
So it's basically a treatment plant that goes in a tank.
It actually goes in the tank?
Yes, it's its own tank. You buy the tank, it's completely built. So there's a number of treatment systems out there, it's probably about 25. Fuji's one of the newer ones. It's a little more expensive, but does an excellent job on cleaning the water, which is the main concern near the Cape right now. We're mapping areas, several towns that I live near, we do treatment for every system. Repair, new, doesn't matter how far you are from the water, you're gonna need a treatment system.
I was just interesting, because I never heard of it before, thank you.
They're a great system, but it's gonna be the future, so I try and push my clients towards that because everything's getting mapped, but you only do so much.
How often does that have to be pumped out?
That's up to the maintenance. So the main thing about a treatment system is you get a maintenance contract. So you as a homeowner never have to worry about your system. He's there every year to look at it, he tells you when to pump, they can upgrade the systems as new technology comes out, so.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to accept the notice of intent and issue an order of conditions?
Per revision,
What?
per revisions that will be made,
Right, or to, well, you're gonna write the order of conditions.
well,
With
yeah,
those
but the plan's gonna get revised. I think you and I could maybe set a time next week to just come in here and like hash it out,
Hash it right out and I
Yeah.
can fix the plans.
or a
and I'll do-
call,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fine.
okay.
Okay, motion to accept,
Motion to accept notice of intent application from Charles Robert Federal National Mortgage Company at 1969 Portland Street, with revisions
and issue an order of conditions
and issue order of conditions.
with what alterations, Lisa?
Yeah, some modifications to the restoration plan
Okay.
specifically.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And I have 21 days, so the sooner you and I,
Yeah, we'll meet next week, that's not a problem
Okay.
at all. I'll email you tomorrow.
okay,
Thank
sounds
you very
good.
much.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Tom Ferry's not here?
No, maybe we
Oh.
should skip it.
Okay.
Okay.
Notice of intent from Tom Ferry, Town of Dayton DPW Director, for a municipal Main Street roadway project, including the construction of a 5-foot wide sidewalk and drainage improvements along an existing 1.8 mile section of Main Street from the intersection of Williams to the intersection of Elm. A portion of this work falls in the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland riverfront area to the Sally Richmond Brook and Muddy Cove Brook, and within bordering land subject to flooding. File number 17-485.
Did we skip something here? This,
Second week.
okay. There's another item that's not on here. It seems to be on here until the 17th.
This is the last one.
What?
After him, there's another one, 1879 Smith Street, RPA.
Okay,
I'll read it.
okay.
What's that? You're on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Evan Watson with W Engineering, representing the town of Dayton, DPW. So the name's Tom Ferry on the application. He and I have been working together to design a roadway improvement project on Main Street. Goes from Elm Street all the way to William Street, and the project entails adding a sidewalk and curbing to the north side of the road. There's already been some other work done on the south side of the road, which was the water line improvements, which is being done. I'm not sure if it's 100% completed or not, but that was a separate contract going through there. And Tom is gonna putting in the sidewalk. And since we're putting in a curb, right now there is no drainage, there's no curbing, there's nothing on Main Street aside from some rudimentary drains and drain inlets that have been put in throughout the years. So now when we put a curb, we're gonna have to move the stormwater into the road, so we're gonna be installing some catch basins and some drainage piping. So along this 2 miles of, or almost 2 miles of road here, there are essentially 3 areas that intersect streams which have associated BBW and areas subject to flooding. So we've highlighted those areas here. This is along this section here near the Sally Richmond Brook, and we've quantified the amount of impact. There is no planned BBW impact. There's no impact to any resource area other than doing work within the riverfront. This is considered a limited project, being by a municipality, and it's an existing roadway. We're not widening more than 1 lane. So there is some relief from strictly complying with the Wetlands Protection Act. So as such, I've submitted a stormwater report that shows how we meet the 10 stormwater standards. We aren't able to do any infiltration, but we're really not adding that much impervious area. We're just adding the 5-foot sidewalk. So let me just go through the plans a little bit here. So this is along Sally Richmond Road, I believe, or we started with this? Yeah, okay. So in this area, there's basically a wetland that more or less, we're blocking off the water from going into it with the curb, so we need to take care of that water. So we're adding a drain line that carries the water down the hill, and then we're gonna have all our discharge points are going to be preceded by a hydrodynamic separator. So that's one of the things that we can't get relief from being a limited project. We have to make sure that all our stormwater discharges are still treated. So we're adding in a storm scepter type device. I think it's the stormwater hydro, which will spin the water, and any of the grit and trash and whatnot will spin to the center. Sinkables will sink to the bottom, and any oil or floating bottles and things will stay at the top. And then at every
How does that oil get removed later?
So there's we also included a maintenance program, and it's the DPW, they go along and they take care of all their catch basins, and it's part of the same program. So when they're cleaning the catch basins, they would go to this unit, you take the manhole off, and when you evacuate the volume of the water and the soil, it goes along with it. And that gets disposed of at landfill. There's a special provision on the DEP has for disposal of catch basin removal.
Okay.
So all our discharge points then are flared in and stone surround, so not have erosive flows. There's a couple interesting spots along Main Street here where the water right now just flows off the road into a catch basin system that's lower. And then runs cross-country off the road. So in those couple instances, there was nothing we could do because the existing piping was too low, and by the time we put a new pipe in, it would be too low. So we'll be utilizing some existing piping there. We'll go further down the road again. Just see what this is.
What sheet are you on now?
These are the RA plans.
Oh,
Which detail just the areas within the
okay.
resource areas. And then as we start approaching Elm Street, same thing, this is an existing culvert with some crossings. So we were able to plan around the crossings, we won't have to modify any of the culvert sections, any of the bridge sections, etc. The only thing we'll have to do is move the guardrail over or lose the grass strip. Essentially, we have a curb, a grass strip, and then the sidewalk. So in sections that approach the bridge culverts or the stream culverts, we'll just have that, we'll just lose that. So same thing, when we're gonna tie into, there's some existing drainage that we'll tie into, and anytime we touch any drainage and have a discharge, we're gonna add that hydrodynamic separator to improve what's actually there in its existing condition. And then this plan here, and forgive me, this is formerly the Zeneca property here down by Muddy Cove Brook. And we have a similar situation. We actually have stormwater coming from both sides along this way. I did bring a full set of design plans. I'll just show you what they look like. Essentially, we've detailed all the areas where we have the curving with the green is the grass strip and the shading is the sidewalk. Again, every once in a while we might have to convert something to a Bradley head. Sometimes there's a catch basin in the sidewalk. So we're trying to use some existing drainage down here on William Street, but all the areas that are adjacent to wetland resource areas, we're upgrading everything. And then we also show the profile, which shows all the pipe sizing, slopes, et cetera, so. We did receive a file number from the DEP. They had no comments, other than I forgot to copy them on attachments to my report. We've notified everybody along the entire corridor. I just handed Lisa the stack there, and I haven't received any calls from anyone. I don't know if you had it in your office.
No. But I have a question, so the existing catch basins, do you know if they're gonna put silt socks in them while you're?
Yeah, so during construction, part of the erosion control plan, putting silt socks in the existing catch basin. The great thing about this project, there shouldn't be too much earthwork other than maybe right near where the discharge points are. And we get putting a manhole or so off the edge of the roadway. Other than that, everything's within the road, so the work as it's being done is basically gonna be excavated, that utility be installed, and then covered up for the day. So I don't expect to see a lot of stockpiles and a lot of exposed soils throughout the duration of the project.
Okay. But you don't have a detail for the sock?
I guess I did not include that, but I can add that to the plan if you'd like.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Okay, we all set? Do we have a motion to accept the notice of intent?
Public input,
Okay,
public input,
Yeah,
anyone?
I have a question in regards to the sidewalks going over Muddy Cove stream. How are you gonna facilitate that with being so narrow right now? There is barely enough room for the guardrail, never mind the sidewalk.
Yep, so I think that's. Should I get to it? Because when we'll cross it a few times.
That was what, 3 times?
Yeah.
Crosses 3 times, right?
At least, I know of twice.
So here's one spot here where it crosses.
Not down by the lake, around 7:20,
Oh, further up.
around 7:20, 7:40.
$720, you said?
Yep. It should be between 7:40 and 700.
Okay, right here. So right here, what we're gonna have to do is move the guardrail to the, and basically bolt it on top of the head wall of the culvert,
Okay,
and then we'll lose the grass strip. Actually, no, there's enough room to keep the grass strip there. So right now, the roadway is there, and then it kind of like crumbles and drops off a little bit, so it is tough to get around, and then there's a guardrail right on the edge of the road. So by moving the guardrail over and attaching it onto the concrete, it'll open that whole area up.
so almost make a cantilever bridge.
No, the existing wall is there, there was enough room to scoot through. And then on the other crossing, there wasn't enough room to leave the grass strip. So what we're gonna do there is something similar, but put in a vertical curving. Because if you don't have a grass strip, you don't have as good protection for a pedestrian as a car going by with just the asphalt curb. So they added a vertical curve at that section, because the sidewalk's gonna be right up against the roadway there, but just for that small section over there by the pond.
And
But yeah, no modifications to the culvert's gonna be required.
Okay.
anyone else?
All of these sidewalks will be ADA compliant.
Yes, we actually met with, and forgive me, I forget his
Mr.
name.
Gale, Jonathan Gale.
Yes, and we went over extensively with, what he was, looking for. So at all, we've added, some details here, and it shows the ADA warnings and and by having the grass strip, it actually makes it a lot easier to create the ramp. Because when it's right up against the sidewalk, you have to flare the sides and create a lot of geometry. So when you just have a sidewalk running across the grass strip as you approach the road, you just basically drop it down and then have a flat spot with the ADA detachment strip.
So, and he's approved this.
Yeah, we met with him at Tom's office, and we took all his input and incorporated onto the plan.
Yes, ma'am.
On Main Street, they've already moved some of the telephone poles inward, but it doesn't seem to be 5 feet, like you're saying, you're gonna have, and what's gonna happen, to the sidewalk? How do the telephone poles and the mailboxes and all that get,
That's a good question. So the utility poles, Tom met with the utility company, and we talked to them about how we're gonna be doing this project. So we didn't wanna have a utility pole right in the middle of our sidewalk, right? So, in most cases, the utility poles are going to be right behind the sidewalk. In some cases, they're going to be in the grass strip, just from the way that the actual utility is going through. So they'll be in between the curbing and the sidewalk. So it's not just 5 feet off the back of the road. There's actually a 2-foot grass strip, I think. Yeah, there's a 2-foot grass strip, then the 5-foot sidewalk. And in some cases where the utility pole may encroach on that area, we're required to have at least 36 inches. So there may be 1 or 2 instances where there's a utility pole at the edge of the sidewalk. But there's a lot of constraints here with the actual right-of-way, the existing road, and utility poles. There's a lot of things to fit in there. So I'd say 95% you're not going to see any utility poles like in asphalt to sidewalk.
I have a totally different question, but we're at the top of Main Street Hill, 1224, and there's a retreat lot next to us. So we're considered conservation land, where the bottom of our land, you have a map with the numbers so I can show you what I'm talking about?
I have the numbers printed on here, so.
We have to really stick to conservation matters, but
Well,
it's.
it's conservation.
Okay, good.
Because part of our yard is conservation, and I
Wetlands.
think I talked to you, wetlands. And then when that was put in, they never replaced any of the trees that they were supposed to. So now you've got another, in front of us, right after our house, is the whole wetlands area
Okay.
on the street, and it's an embankment. So
Who didn't replace trees? I'm not.
whoever moved there, the person that moved there, I talked to you on the phone about, because someone was cutting down trees one day, right in the middle of the wetlands, and you came over and said, you can't do that.
Okay.
So.
So let's
and
see
they
the
never
address on there
replaced.
so I can,
Did you say 1224?
there's a lot
I
going
did
on in this town.
1224, but after us is all wetlands.
Right, yep, that's these wetlands.
Yes,
And there's a house, I have it indicated as house under construction. When we were drawing these plans, the house wasn't there. You said there's a new
it's
house.
already there. It's been there for over a year.
When we started this about a year ago.
Yeah, and nothing was ever replaced, which is the problem.
So that project was permitted way before me, and I don't know if you guys remember any of it. But the driveway, that was the
Yeah,
one where
that
the
was all
driveway was
wetland.
supposed to be, it was supposed to be gravel and ended up being pavement. And then
Correct.
along the edge, they actually, were clearing one day and I went out and stopped them. But in any case, okay, so Tom is aware of that area. Do you have it flagged as wetlands on there?
Yep, these green areas right here are the wetland areas.
Okay.
So all of our work is gonna be outside that, and we are installing new drainage, because you live there, so.
Yeah, it just goes straight down though. It's an
Yeah.
embankment. So
Right.
I don't know how you're gonna build that up to avoid all the wetlands that's there. Because we've already lost all those trees from that driveway that didn't get replaced. So now we're gonna have more wetlands coming in on us. It's not gonna get replaced right.
This is actually gonna benefit that area a lot, because right now, there's water that comes, all of these houses here, and they're burying the water, and they're pitching into the road, and then it all comes down here and kind of washes out this area.
That's all where it goes, yeah.
Yeah, so we're adding the curbing, and then we're gonna pick it up into catch basins and roadway drainage to bring it down properly. I mean, it goes there now, because there is a structure here. And we're gonna pick that structure up as well, and carry that all the way down in piping, instead of having it scouring the side of the road, like you see now.
Yeah, we've already had to replace a pool liner because the pool caved in from people pumping their basements out for years and years. So yeah, it's a nice expense, and I'd like to not do it again. But, well, my concern is if there's enough feet there in front of that to do the sidewalk. That's what I'm saying, because it goes straight down, it's not a big area.
They'll have to fill that and probably they'll armor that slope with riprap, et cetera. So, but there is enough room to actually add the sidewalk right through here where we have it. It does drop off.
Yes.
But it's not that much. There's not that big of a drop off right there where we're gonna need a retaining wall and all that type of stuff, so. And that's part of the problem, is a lot of these roads were built kind of like.
Countryside drainage.
Yeah, we'll put enough gravel there to get up off the wetland and fill it in and away we go, you know, so. That's why there's been a lot of trouble, and this is a trouble zone for sure.
Yeah. Now, should I talk to you separately about?
Yeah, we can talk about that at the very end of the meeting, because that's not on the agenda, so.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yep.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to accept the notice of intent and issue order of conditions?
Motion to accept the notice of intent from Tom Ferry, Town of Dayton, DPW Director for Municipal Main Street Roadway Project.
Second, is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so this is the next one. Okay.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Watson.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Evan.
And you'll let me know if, you wanna see the detail after there.
Probably a good idea for the contractor.
I believe it's in the erosion control plan that's
Oh.
written in the report.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Sounds good.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have a request for a determination of applicability from Michael Cordero at 1879 Smith Street. This is,
Pergola?
wait a minute.
No, no.
Lisa, what is this?
It's
To
a
construct?
pergola with
Okay, to
solar.
construct a pergola with
Yard.
solar array, okay. To construct a pergola with solar arrays on the existing home at 1879, okay. Okay, thank you.
We have this handy dandy sketch too. Here's a sketch that was also turned in, which is.
Okay,
So the Corderos applied for a building permit, and that's how we caught this. But I think they started the process in April.
okay.
Drawing's pretty good. You see what's happening there?
Okay, so you want to put solar panels on a pergola that exists already?
No.
No.
So that's the pergola's getting built. So that's why I'm here. So the farthest edge of that pergola is within the 100-foot buffer zone, which is actually
Okay.
81 feet. So
Okay.
basically, that's why I'm here. So no, that pergola's, that'll be new construction, and then the panels are gonna go on top of that.
It's in their driveway. There's a lawn in between the wetland and
Okay, all right, okay.
existing house.
So you're gonna build a pergola and then put the solar panels on the pergola
Correct.
to act as the shade?
Reason being because that house was built, it's better than 100 years old, and everybody that looked at the rafters said, no, it's not strong enough.
Okay,
This was, believe it or not, the less expensive way to go, which was not inexpensive at all, but the less expensive way to go other than, it would have been rebuilding the entire roof on the house if I wanted to put the solar panels up there, so.
okay. So you're 80 feet away from the wetlands, and, okay.
So that's why they're filing on RDA,
Right.
because
Do you have any comments on it?
as long as they install the erosion controls, let me know when they're in, and then they can proceed, that's all.
Okay.
I have already drafted, because I know they're in a rush, because they live part of the year in Maine, and they're trying to get to Maine. So I drafted the determination. Negative determination is what I recommend.
Okay, Jack, Dave, do you have any questions for him?
No,
Any questions from the audience? Okay, is there a motion?
I do need the green cards, and I know I got proof that you guys paid your bill, so that's good.
Do I have a motion to issue a negative determination?
Motion to set a negative determination on 1879 Smith Street.
Okay, no problem.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And if you wait, we'll give you the signed copy, okay? And then you can show the building. I usually send it to the building department, but not until Monday, because we're closed tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jack,
You better change some of this wording. See,
Yeah.
to me, you're telling me negatives, like, that doesn't sound good to me.
Trust me,
Well, positive,
I understand.
the way the positive works is positive means that it's going to cause, could
Positive
cut.
problems,
Yeah.
negative problems.
Means that you have to file a notice of intent, so you'd have to file a more complicated form after this.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't sound like it, right?
No, no.
these here sign, those are the money ones.
I believe that too.
I need both sides because one is my copy.
Okay,
Rest is discussion, do we wanna take the ladies' concern next? I was not.
This whole town is a big wet. If you hold it,
That's everything that's left. There's nothing left.
that's what we're all here for.
Then why do they keep,
There's nothing left.
then why do they keep allowing all these subdivisions?
did you sign it?
Wetlands everywhere? Six
Oh.
It's,
Oh, yeah, this is, you gotta sign this one.
Why not? That's why we got.
it takes about 10 years to put a plan together,
Yeah.
and then you can stop it.
I'll talk about it.
Actually,
Okay,
it's-
wait, that's Zero Horton lot, map 10?
No, it's the left.
When you have about 5 years of work, and then you can put lines all the time, so you can get them up here, here.
But yeah, we need to go down the order.
It's like an act of Congress.
Go down the orders, we do have people here.
Okay, all right. Okay, we have updates and discussions on events, Zero Horton Street, map 10, lot 53, enforcement order issued 11/28/22. Okay, Lisa, could you give us an update on that?
1 second. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let me know if you have any questions. But I'll hear from you when you put your erosion controls in.
Want to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
right away, yeah, it's good. All right, so, I believe, yeah, the Oliveras are here. We've been finding them since the engineer dropped the ball. And I guess they were also surprised that the engineer dropped the ball as well. So, they're here to present to us, yeah.
Now, this is up by the church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just,
Okay. Our engineer had told us that he was taking care of it, talking to conservation, and we were under the assumption that this, no news was good news. He kept on, oh, I got it taken care of, I got it taken care of. Fine, we get a notice in the mail saying we have, in June, that they haven't heard anything from the engineer, that we had such and such a time. Again, we call him, listen, you told us you would take care of this. Oh, it's almost drummed up, it's ready, I'm gonna submit it. Okay, 2 weeks before, again, listen, the deadline is coming up, have you said, oh, we're taking care of it. I left a voicemail saying, listen, He's supposed to be emailing you something. If he hasn't, please let us know. I'm under the assumption it's taken care of. I didn't hear anything from anyone. So then we get a letter getting dropped off that we're being fined. Like, excuse me? You know? Long story short, we end up calling and saying, listen, we can't deal with him anymore. He's telling us it's being taken care of and it's not. So we called and we talked to Steve Schmel.
Steve Schmiel is their wetland scientist, yeah.
So we talked to them, and then we ended up hiring, per recommendation, Zenith Consulting Engineers. So we have a signed contract, they have we put the down payment that they required. We also have the signed paperwork. I also have a copy of the signed paperwork with Steven. It's all been, it's in progress, more than what we've gotten so far.
In 2 weeks, we've accomplished a lot more than we did in
We did
5,
in all
6
the months, and, I mean, and you're just.
It's been 9.
But the thing is
9 months.
it's someone he knew, so we were just, do you know what I mean? It's not like we were dealing with a company with someone, you know, he actually works with him, and he says, I'm taking care of it. Well, you're not.
It didn't help the situation that I've been working out of state. I own a company, so I've literally been out of state for almost half a year.
It's like back and forth.
Only on the weekends, so.
It's like you
I
can't.
would never suspect a guy that's been working with me for the past 7.5 years. We've been doing business together
So,
since
Schmiel,
7.5 years, so I have no.
We have,
he is getting a plan for you ready.
I have,
Okay.
yes.
I think
Schmiel
what
and,
the commission would be willing to do is to suspend any further fines for 30 days to give him time to get the plan
and how, is
in.
there,
You already have notice of fines from,
Yeah, apparently we have,
every week?
every week we have a sheriff
Because
coming by the house, dropping a $29 fine.
well, maybe you can give those fines to the other guy to pay.
So in
Is
other
there
words,
any way we
like,
can?
Well, I don't know, but like I say, the commission is willing to suspend
Further fines.
issuing new fines for 30 days.
We don't wanna have to do it either, I mean, you
right.
know.
Oh,
No,
understandable.
on my behalf, I'm just like, can anybody help me out? I really
Well,
can't afford it.
well, if your guy has not been responsive, that becomes a civil suit that you have against him.
Right.
That's all I can tell you on that, because if he said he was going to get it done and he didn't, I mean, that has nothing to deal with us, except that the work has not been done to rehab the property.
So,
That we're involved in that.
well, now they have a contract, so we would like to get a copy of the contract for the file.
Which we have,
Is that a copy?
Yes, I
Okay.
printed them. Did the best I can, my print wasn't working. It is, I can't.
Okay, no problem, that's fine.
Okay, and
I
I
had a
think
copy
that,
with just our signature, but this is a copy
when
with,
those
All
come in,
right, great,
and then this one's
we'll
from.
deal with it
Okay,
after
great.
that.
I can.
That's fine.
Do you wanna see them a little bit?
Nah,
You don't
I'm
wanna
good.
bust
Yeah,
your
Steven
chops.
called me, so we're good, thank you.
Need action.
which is totally understandable. I'm just shocked. Why am I being punished for?
At least when it was, at least since it was signed, you know what I mean? We were hoping that it would.
Okay, let's see what Schmiel has and what he's gonna do for you and get to repair. Okay?
Okay.
All right, very good.
Thank you,
Anyone
gentlemen.
else have any questions?
Oh,
Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, take care. You can, yeah, if you want, thank you.
2371 County Street, map 20,
Need
lot
associate members.
65. Enforcement order
Associate members.
issued 4/1/21. DEP visited
Associate members.
on 4/27. Request for a letter to be sent by the Board of Selectmen to DEP. A letter sent to DEP by Mr. Michael Mullen on 4/26 and on 7/13. Agent recommends commission review, discuss, act on enforcement order. We're gonna act on an enforcement order. our main way to act is $300 a day fine.
Well, we haven't issued, have we issued an enforcement order was issued, yes, so maybe that's what we start doing with this one, because we're not getting anywhere with DEP.
He has been most neglectful, negligent, and I think when his lawyer was here, I don't know what he thought, but if facial expressions could be read, I can certainly guess. Okay, I think we should start fining him at $300 a day until he has a plan in place to rehab the property in on the east side of his lot.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm gonna need a motion to issue a fine to, who's the owner of that property,
Let me
Lisa?
dig this one out, hold on.
This has been going on for over 2 years
Do you know
now.
the owner of that one off the top of your head? I don't have it,
Excuse me?
Do you know the owner of that one off the top
The
of your head?
first site visit we did, you were there, Jim.
Yes,
I believe the owners are Russell, Enos,
Enos, yeah.
and his sister, Jean Enos Whitmore.
I can look it up too.
Because Mrs. Whitmore and her husband were there.
okay, we can just say for the owners of the property, we can do on the motion, the owners of the property.
Yeah.
Okay, what I would like is a motion then to issue fines for the owners of the property at 2371 County Street for, non-action on an enforcement order issued in the past.
Motion to set fines in motion on 2371 County Street of $300 a day,
Beginning on,
beginning on
so
today's date?
how I usually do it is I issue them like for 1 week at a time. So a week from Monday, I'll issue a week's worth. So if you want to begin it on Monday, the date would be the 21st.
Okay. 8/21, beginning 8/21,
Beginning 8/21.
23. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Let me just write that down.
1035 William Street, letter issued 4/28/21, site visit with Outback Engineer and owner on 3/15. Public hearing opened at 4/20/23 and closed with a denial on 7/20. Site visit conducted on 7/6/23. Okay. Review, discuss, and act on an enforcement order.
Enforcement action, it's up to you.
I'm sorry?
Action.
Okay. You know this property well, Jed, we all,
Yeah.
Lisa, would that be good to start fining for something like that, or is that?
I think that one deserves an enforcement
Or
order
do we have an
first.
enforcement order on them first?
No. we
Then
don't.
let's issue the enforcement order
Okay,
and,
I can
and
do
then
that
give
this
him-
week, next
give
week.
him 30 days to have an engineer contact the commission that they will be working, well, he already has somebody, he rejected their proposal.
I know. So 30,
We offered a
So 30
great
days?
solution to the problem.
30 days for a restoration plan, is that what we wanna,
Yeah, a restoration plan.
got it?
We offered a very satisfactory solution to the problem, and it was denied.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so, so the enforcement order will come, if nothing comes of that, then we go to the next stage,
Right.
okay?
And next item we have people here for.
0 Horton Street, map 7, lot 26, enforcement order restoration. Agent spoke with wetland consultant on 7/11 and site visit on 7/19. Restoration plan received for review. Okay, review, discuss, and act on restoration plan.
Thanks. Is this the same, is this the same?
That's the same as the digital copy I submitted. Oh, I can, anybody else wants one? Just for myself. Go. Hang on, too. Julie.
Jason, are you getting all the handouts? You
No,
getting-
just this one.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have had, maybe even come up here,
Next time.
Okay, do you wanna explain why you're here?
So my name is Tom Schutz and I work for Goddard Consulting. I'm here on behalf of WR Construction and Carrie is here tonight representing them. So we were here about a year and a half ago for this same enforcement order and we got a restoration plan approved through the Conservation Commission and that included seeding and shrub planting and tree planting. However, due to some unforeseen circumstances, the restoration plan hasn't gone through up to this point. There's been no further work taking place on the site. Right now it's completely vegetated and stabilized, so no dirt and no runoff is leading into the wetlands. I did walk the site with Lisa and the applicant, and she can agree to those conditions that I just stated. So we're here tonight with a revised restoration plan based on the existing conditions of the site. And if you want to flip to the last page of that, there's a diagram that you could look at to kind of follow along with what I'm talking about. So when we went out there, we saw that there's a thick herbaceous layer in the 100-foot buffer zone, and that is shown, the 100-foot buffer zone is shown in the light blue coloring on there. The 25-foot buffer zone is shown on the dark green coloring, and the area that was previously disturbed is green outlined. So as I said before, the 100-foot buffer zone has now been revegetated with herbaceous plants. Lisa also saw those. We previously were going to seed that area, but due to the growth, we don't believe that's any longer necessary. We had shrubs in the 25-foot no disturb zone, but since the last time we were here, the shrubs have started to grow back. We have sweet pepper bush and high bush blueberry starting to grow in the 25-foot buffer zone, so we don't think that the shrubs are necessary anymore. Instead, we're going to be putting in 25 trees to restore the canopy that was taken down for the original disturbance out there. So we're proposing 8 red maples, 8 northern red oak, and 9 black birch. And these were specifically chosen for the plants that are on site and because they're in stock at the store, so we can get going with this immediately. Carrie has already gone out and she's talked to the store and she can confirm that the trees are available, so we're looking to go forward with this in September if possible, if approved tonight. We're also going to be doing a seed mix within the 25-foot no disturb. That's going to be a wetland seed mix, just to kind of bring back some of those herbaceous plants that might still not be there, right up next to the wetland line. We're going to be doing a silt sock around the wetland edge. There's already a silt fence out there, but we're just going to have some extra protection with the silt sock running along the area that we're going to be restoring. And one final thing is there is concrete that's been scattered along that's out throughout the 100-foot buffer zone. We're going to hand remove all of the concrete chunks that were out there, and that's going to be all by hand, so no machinery is going to be going through there. We're going to need to remove some slash that has been left from the disturbance previously. And you can see that now we have one proposed excavator entrance, and that's located on the left-hand side of the disturbance. So we're going to be using an area that was previously disturbed. We're going to be putting down plywood so the excavator can walk over that and not disturb any of that herbaceous plants that has been in there. And we think that we're going to be able to use minimal disturbance to remove it's a little bit of trees left behind and some dirt. So we're going to remove all of that, bring it back to a naturalized state. And then we're going to seed any of the area that the excavator has walked over that the plywood might not have covered. So if you have any questions for me now, I'd like to answer them. Otherwise, That's mine.
Was any fill brought in by the applicant himself?
Not by the applicant himself, but there are concrete chunks that are out there, and we did agree to remove those, even though we don't believe that that was brought in by the applicant.
Yeah, it wasn't brought up, I'm sorry. That wasn't brought in by us, it was there prior. So when we were out there with Lisa and I discussed about being able to go through, I mean, we'd like to have the least amount of disruptance in the area, so, when we talked about putting the plywood down, going in, and we discussed that I would have them go in, and as much as I can have the guys go in and just take it out by hand, I would rather than create more of a problem than we already have, so.
And there's going to be a wetland scientist on site too, so they're going to be watching the whole restoration take place, so they can be careful of anything or any significant disturbance from happening out there.
Yeah, one thing to consider is that there's no limitation as far as like if you bought that site with that material. So
Yeah, we
with
discussed
fill,
that.
there's no limitation.
Right, we
That's-
discussed that, I mean, again, if that's, at this point, it's a new issue for
Right.
us, you know what I mean, it's there, we didn't put it there. But we were willing to remove it and that's not a problem.
Yeah.
As far as timeline, I know we mentioned by September, but I was trying to buy the plant trees a month ago. You know, once I got off the phone, once I stopped.
They gotta get watered too, that's the thing.
No, I didn't buy them because we weren't sure. So,
Okay.
I mean, like, we're ready to be able to go do this. So it's just a matter of getting it approved at this point.
Tom, the only concern I have is that because you're gonna need some seed in the upland areas, so it wouldn't be wetland seed mix, so I would say just add conservation seed mix in the.
Okay, can that be said to you after the meeting tonight? I don't know if we need a
Yes.
second hearing for that, just for a minor note.
Yeah, this isn't really a hearing anyway. It's
Okay,
just-
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Dave?
see it after.
No, I don't have any questions. We were out there and, you know, if you're hand picking that stuff up, that's the right way to do it, so you don't have any more disturbance.
Yeah, I wanna limit that disturbance. And I'll be there as well, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees and shrubs that are growing in and around and about. Obviously, you wanna try to save as many as you
Absolutely,
can.
and that's why we're using the plywood as well, just to try and keep any of the track from disturbing that existing shrub.
That big pile of, just brush.
Organic?
It's brush. That's gonna get removed. That's the two
Yep.
piles that's gonna get removed, yep.
And then again, I've discussed with them already, about trying to, we have multiple size excavators, but we're bringing the smallest one that I have. And so even with that, if I can't get, I told them we're bringing the chainsaw, so whatever we need to do
Yeah,
to be able to.
and
get
bring
this
the
out there.
contractor that listens.
Well, that would be me now, Lisa. I'm now there, so don't worry. I'm listening. I heard you. So I'm there, and that's why we're going forth.
What size, how big is the pile of brush?
It's not that big.
It's not that big, but it
This
is,
big by this big.
it's trees that
Yeah.
can't be moved by hand, so an excavator with a thumb is gonna be needed.
You could also use a dingo or some
Yeah.
sort of mini skid,
Yes. Do you
which
have
will allow one track of plywood in,
Yep, yep.
instead of using two tracks.
Absolutely, yeah. All things are gonna be considered to try and minimize the
Less labor
impacts.
installation on the plywood.
we've
Lisa,
been in.
they've already offered us a restoration plan, am I correct?
Yeah, he made these
This
changes.
is a revised,
Yeah.
Okay,
restoration
all
plan.
right, okay, revised, okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay, motion to accept the revised restoration plan for,
Along with the additional seed mix.
Yes, I had conservation seed, right?
Okay, along-
I added it to my.
Motion to accept revised, restoration plan on 0 Horton Street.
map 7, lot 26, as well as the previous one accepted.
Along with the one amendment,
Along with the one amendment,
Okay,
conservation seed mix.
with
Okay.
conservation seed mix.
okay. Second.
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Just keep us in the loop, cause, you know,
We will, and we're gonna try and do this as quick as possible.
I wanna know when it's happening, so when I get a call, I can
Sure. As soon as I figure out the logistics, we're gonna, the timing of, I just have to order the plants and
All right.
figure all that out. But as
Great.
soon
With
as
all this rain, with all this rain,
Thank you.
this is,
It's been horrid, I know, it's so bad. So yeah, we gotta plan it out, but we will.
Have you guys tried Weston Nurseries?
That's, yeah.
That's who you're using?
We're gonna be using, actually native wetland plants in Amherst, or South Hadley.
Okay, give Weston Nurseries a try.
You said Weston?
Weston, out of Bridgewater.
Where is that? Sorry.
Is it on
I have
18?
property
Right off
there.
of 28.
okay.
28?
Is it 18?
18.
Weston?
18 or 28?
Probably 18,
Yes.
yeah.
I think it was an 8.
I grew up in Bridgewater, so I'm like, that's really the only place.
Then you know my house. The Buckley house.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. See, everyone does that. They all go, oh, yes. Have a good evening, thank you.
take care.
0 William Street, map 21, lots 34-2. Letter sent 6/2, notice of violation. Met with owners and stormwater agent on 2/16. Restoration plan received for review. Okay,
Okay, so they actually, per discussion in the field with the owners, they're reviewing the restoration plan and changing things, because the restoration plan only showed restoration of the wetland. However, the 100-foot buffer zone was also disturbed. I didn't bring the paperwork, but I looked up the NAM map on it, and there's a huge difference between 2021 and 2023. So they're gonna restore as much as they can of the buffer zone, and they're also going to have Proline submit a notice of intent for their project, for their house.
okay. Now, this here is almost as far south as Jimmy Sousa's house on the opposite side. It's on top of the hill, but the land goes down. Okay, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
1940 County Street, that's 508 Customs, letter sent on 3/23. Outback is preparing a site plan. Second letter was sent via certified mail, 7/19. No response. Receive, discuss, and act on enforcement action.
It was signed for also. On 7/21.
Did they have a time limit when they had to get this in?
Yes, by August 16th, which was yesterday. Complete a notice of intent with a site plan.
Shall we carry this over till next month and then take enforcement action? That's,
You can take enforcement action tonight.
working in the wetlands, okay, so they didn't respond to either letter then?
Nope.
Okay, time for action then.
Yeah, I mean, the only response I got was from Outback Engineering, and that was over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, saying that they had been retained and they were working on a plan, but
Okay,
It's been
let's,
the same.
let's put a little more punch into it, and, let's issue an enforcement order.
okay.
Do I have a motion?
You guys gonna hire me a bodyguard?
Motion to, send an enforcement letter to 1940 County Street, 508 Customs.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
880 Hart Street, notice of violation sent 2/1/23, site visit 2/15 and 4/11. Agent spoke with Attorney Mitchell on 7/5 and provided him with information. Agent will follow up with inspection through the fall and spring. Lisa?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just responding to my son. Okay, so, yeah, so that one, they just left it as is. They got the wetlands flagged, they figured out a place for their cattle, or cow, one or the other, I don't know how many they have, which is behind their house, not disturbing the wetland. So, in this case, I really think we can revisit it again in the spring and see how it's grown in.
Okay,
You know, it wasn't trees, it was really just shrubs and herbaceous. And if it's left alone, it's got the seed in there. You know?
I was down there maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and believe it or not, some of that has already started growing in.
Yeah.
oh, with this rain is,
Yeah, I mean, you
this
know.
is unusual.
Yeah. So I really don't, I mean, I don't think at this time, you know, unless next year we don't, as long as we don't, A, see them working in there anymore, and B, it's, you know, it's left alone and
No.
it's growing in.
Yeah, they're definitely not working, they're working in the back.
Yeah.
And that was initially, when our first site visit there, that's basically what we had mentioned,
Yeah.
you know, put it back where it used to be years ago.
Exactly.
That's essentially what happened.
They listened.
Yep.
Okay, 1420 William Street, new violation. While conducting site visit at Clearway Solar, hand-delivered letter on 3/8, site visit. Okay, 3/6, so the site, okay, you delivered the letter after the site visit. Okay, nothing on, that's the Rougeau Farms?
I spoke with Ken yesterday, and he told me that his wetland consultant is supposed to be out in the next month to look at everything. So he's got a bunch of things going on, so I think that's all part of it with his consultant, you know?
Okay,
Yeah.
981 Stonegate Landing, North Dayton.
Yeah, so this is one, Dave and I went out there. The gentleman wanted to, he was told by Mr. Fedoroff that he should probably reach out to us because Mr. Fedoroff realized that the gentleman was working in our regulated area. He said he wanted to cut a tree, which is an oak tree, and when I went to look at it, I knew, because I had looked at the aerials, that he had filled in a portion of the wetland and installed a, what would you call that thing, Dave? Temporary?
That's a shelter,
Yeah.
shelter logic hut.
Yeah, a hut for his stuff, for his guy stuff, right?
Storage, you know, which can easily be picked up and moved
Yeah.
fairly easy.
So that can be moved, but the fill has to be moved as well. And he was gonna try to take it on himself, but he said he's decided to hire a contractor, and as soon as that happens, he's keeping me in the loop through email, so.
Okay. 485 Tremont Street, map 9, lot 16, extensive clearing.
Yeah.
A portion may be in the buffer zone to a regulated wetland and in NHESP map priority habitat. Violation letter sent 8/3.
Yep, so I got an immediate response from Mr. Alves, the owner of the property. He called me and we played phone tag for about a week. But he actually came into the stormwater meeting yesterday, and it sounds like he wants to do the right thing. We're going to, stormwater committee set up a site visit. It's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., Wednesday the 23rd, so if anyone's available to take a walk out there, I'd like to look in the back myself and do some measurements and see how close he is to the wetland with expanding his yard. So, you know, I don't know that any fill's been brought in there. We gotta look at the whole thing, so. I did speak with Natural Heritage, and, I had CC'd them on the letter, so they're aware.
Okay. Public input, anybody?
Oh, we got one more item.
Okay,
1033 Oak Street, map 7, lot 20-2.
Oh, yes, okay.
Unpermitted large garage observed within regulated buffer zone. Letter sent on August 10th, 2023. this is an aerial, I meant to print the color copy. So Oak Street is right here, and there's a stone wall near the property boundary here, but the wetlands are flagged right now, and I wanna estimate, I did it on.
So he built his garage in the buffer zone.
About 23 feet from the wetland or so. And I know there's fill that was brought in for the edge of that, but this is a 40 by 60 garage, bigger than my house.
This is another one of those problems.
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
So he's in the no-build zone, no-touch zone.
Yeah, in the 100-foot buffer zone, and there's also the stream up there, so there's a regulated buffer zone on that as well. The letter went August 10th, and I gave them until August 24th to reply. Want to see it?
Now, is he still in construction of it? Or is it all done?
It's pretty much all, it looks like it's almost all done.
It's been up.
It's been up for a while.
It's been up for a while.
So it's too late at this point to send him an enforcement order to stop, cease and desist.
We can send them an enforcement order to remove the fill and the structures of fill. But, let's start with the letter and see where we go from there. Maybe he'll hire a consultant to come up with a huge mitigation plan for the disturbance. I don't know.
Well, you're waiting for a response?
Just waiting for a response to the letter.
Or you already, okay, you sent that,
Yeah, to the 24th.
okay,
The letter's right there.
okay.
You guys wanna look at it?
All right, so, what we're looking for is for them to give us compensatory storage and the rest.
They should hire a wetland scientist, yeah, to figure this stuff out.
Okay,
Unless they don't want to keep their garage.
well, that's gonna create a little more chaos, but then again, we're covering the law and, okay,
Yeah, I happened to go by this just recently, a couple months ago, so.
So did this get seen just by driving by and noticed it?
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
I,
you can drive by and see it, it's all blueberry bushes and everything else right there, it's,
stream.
you know.
okay, so then we'll see what comes in by the 24th
Yep.
and deal with what action we have to take in
Well, I
September.
don't think they're just gonna respond by the 24th, so. They might be in a situation now where they just don't know how to respond because they have their permit from the town to build it, so I don't know what they're gonna say, but.
Okay, any public, input? Okay,
So the board asked the town, never mind.
we have asked the town.
No, you have asked the town how the permit was given by just a visual of the property?
Oh, no, not that particular one. We need procedure to be followed before getting a permit. A letter went out 2 months ago, and procedure has not been formalized, something which could take a half hour. Yes, Nancy?
So I'm just reading what is written here. Unpermitted large garage. Is it unpermitted because no building permit was issued? or is it unpermitted because you're not permitted to build in the area it's in?
It's permitted by conservation specifically.
All right, but he had a building permit.
Yeah.
Okay, because the term unpermitted threw me. So what you're really referring to is where the structure was built is the area that is not allowed, they're not allowed to build in.
Not without a permit,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, without coming for, all right.
Yeah, and that's what the
That
letter
was,
said.
yeah,
I
okay.
could read the letter.
Confusing.
Actually, we should probably read the letter for the record. You guys want me to read the letter?
Yes, please. My throat is wearing down.
Yeah, I just have to get my glasses on so I can see it.
I get this.
August 10th, 2023, Seth and Phyllis Cook, 1033 Oak Street, North
Every
Dayton,
single
sent via
year.
certified mail. Wetlands violation, 1033 Oak Street, map 7, lot 20-2, North Dayton. Seth and Phyllis, we are writing to inform you of violations on your property at 1033 Oak Street, map 7, lot 20-2, under the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Dayton Conservation Commission bylaw. Alterations include clearing, cutting, and filling made on your property are within regulated wetland resources. Work falls within the town of Dayton regulated 0 to 25 foot no disturb zone, 0 to 50 foot no build zone, and 100 foot regulated buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetland. This activity was performed without a valid wetland permit from the Conservation Commission and is in violation of the Wetlands Protection Act and regulations, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Conservation Commission local bylaw. Wetlands must be flagged, and after the fact filing with the Conservation Commission is necessary. You must respond your intention to comply with the terms of this notice by August 24th, 2023. You can email a response to the conservation agent with my email and phone. Monday through Thursday. Failure to comply with this order may constitute grounds for additional legal action. And I spelled out what's in our bylaw as far as our enforcement legal action. Thank you in advance for your cooperation, and we look forward to working with you to resolve this issue. Sincerely, Dayton Conservation Commission, Lisa Caledonia, Conservation Agent. I sent a copy to the Selectmen, the Stormwater Committee, and the Building Commissioner.
Okay. Are we finished for tonight? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait, we got someone in the audience.
I did already.
No, this lady over here on Main Street. Hi.
Hi.
Do you want to email me, or do you want to call me, or do you
Yeah,
want
I'll
to talk
call you.
about it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's a good number, so I can?
I can give you my,
Card?
Well, you can, we can
Do I have a
adjourn.
card? I should have a card in here, and I don't know if I, where my cards are. Oh, why don't you take one of these? Phone number and emails on it, but I can give you my cell phone. So do you want my work cell phone?
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn
Write it on there.
Motion to adjourn.
at 8:40?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.